Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And I must say that never, in the field of Scottish politics, has one MSP made himself look so foolish as Stewart McDonald did today. And we must always hold it in our hearts to mock and ridicule him. Because he says that Humza Yousaf gives speeches like Winston Churchill. Which of course he doesn't. What a load of old toss. Stewart McDonald, what on earth are you drinking? And can I have some? I'll have a gallon of it if it does that to you. He's absolutely ludicrous. So we've got this guy, McDonald, who is a Glasgow Glasgow MP. And he was saying that when Humza Yousaf last week gave his big speech in Glasgow University, where he was talking about how much better off Scotland would be under being, £10,000 better off if you're out and independent, all this bollocks that he was talking about. And he compared it to the great speeches of Winston Churchill and Harold Wilson. That's all I can say. Let's have a look, because it is utter bunkum. Here goes. Now, I'm sure many people have a very low opinion as to Stewart McDonald. But, I mean, how low can you scrape? The man is delusional, isn't he? SNP MP Stewart McDonald mocked for comparing Humza Yousaf's delusional speech to the likes of Winston Churchill and Harold Wilson. First of all, if there's one person Humza Yousaf would absolutely detest, it would be Winston Churchill. One only has to look up what Winston said about Islam, and you'll understand why that is relevant. And of course, Harold Wilson was effectively, or probably, a Russian spy. Certainly giving secrets. There was certainly a lot of connection going on there. And so, these are not great people for Humza Yousaf to be compared to. It's almost as though Stewart McDonald hasn't got a fucking clue. He's SNP. Of course he hasn't got a clue. Anyway, the Glasgow South MP was mocked after claiming that the First Minister's industrial speech at Glasgow University could be transformative, despite it being dubbed as fantasy economics. It had no bearing in reality. And transformative, well, yes, it's going to transform the SNP from being a political party into being a defunct and ex-political party. He's giving him praise for things that need to be ridiculed, not praised. You have to worry about the sanity of these people. I mean, and also, is he after an improved job or something? Is he kissing ass industrially up the brown ring? I mean, honest to God. Anyway, an SNP MP has been mocked after comparing Humza Yousaf's delusional keynote speech at Glasgow University to ones by the likes of heavyweight politicians Winston Churchill and Harold Wilson. Stewart McDonald, who is a backbencher at Westminster, claimed it could be as transformative as the ones by the two former Prime Ministers. The First Minister spoke at length on Monday about an industrial strategy for Scotland, which focused mainly on being an independent and joining the EU, but it was branded fantasy economics by critics. Even people in his own party were saying it was bullshit and bollocks, so let's not just say that it was just enemies saying it was bad. There was SNP members going, is he for real? It's obviously a load of rubbish. Anyway, despite this, it has been really lapped up by Mr. McDonald, who quit his frontbench role due to Stephen Flynn taking over back in 2022. How bad have you got to be that Stephen Flynn forces you out? He said it was similar to the famous intervention from Labour Prime Minister Harold Wilson in '63 when he spoke to the need to harness the white heat of technology. Humza Yousaf won't like that. White heat? The famous speech was widely seen as Wilson proving himself as a leader and putting to bed a period of internal turmoil for the party. Do you know that since Harold Wilson won in 1976, only one man has won an election for Labour in 50 years? Goes to show. And that's who this guy wants to compare Humza Yousaf with. Heavens to bet. Anyway, just days after Yousaf's keynote talk, the SNP remained divided over policies being put forward by the Scottish Government, including XL bullies and conversion therapy. I've got a feeling that the XL bullies may even be a bigger, more contentious issue than the conversion therapy. And we did the story yesterday about Kate Forbes has got the best chance ever over conversion therapy of utterly, destroying Humza Yousaf and taking control of the party. I mean, it's just wonderful to watch a party fall apart like this. I said a couple of months ago that start of the new year, as they go into an election year, will be formative, and it will be when the party destroys itself because it won't know who to offend the least. And that's basically what they're doing. Anyway, he wrote in the pro-independence newspaper Pravda that as he made the case for sustained investment in industries where Scotland has a genuine capacity to lead the world, like renewable energy and carbon capture and storage, where it doesn't, because that needs investment and he hasn't got the money to invest, not while he keeps wanking it away on bollocks. The First Minister highlighted the extent to which the UK's economic decline is a result of a series of active choices by successive Labour and Conservative governments who saw no wrong in abandoning their citizens to the mercy of market forces. What would he have do otherwise? Humza Yousaf doesn't have any ability to understand things, and neither, of course, does Stewart McDonald. He's proved now, unflinchingly, how stupid he is, so you can't obviously trust this man anywhere close to controlling an economy. He said in 1963, Wilson delivered his famous white heat of technology speech that marked him out as a moderniser and a winner. That single sentence prompted Canadian socialist Robert Mackenzie to remark that Wilson had moved the Labour Party forward 50 years in 50 minutes. He did. He dragged it screaming and kicking into the early 1900s. Humza's speech has the potential to be similarly transformative. Yes, dragging it back to the 1850s. Certainly in terms of childcare and social justice and policing and education and economy. Not good, is it? Not good. He said, if the First Minister backs it up with the delivery of a strategic plan and empowers the right people to implement it, then his speech last week, he said, could be similarly defining and transformative moment for him and the cause of independence. And the band played Believe It If You Like. In The Scotsman, he compared the speech to one by Winston Churchill, who spoke about the need to industrialise the country while in Edinburgh over 100 years ago. This was his wilderness years, wasn't it? And he knew then, by industrialise, what he meant was build up for the next war. He knew the Second World War was coming. He kept telling people and no one believed him. And yet, hey, a few years later, boom. Quite literally, boom. He said, roads made, streets are made, services are improved, electric lights turn night into day, water is brought from reservoirs 100 miles off in the mountains, all while the landlord sits still. He says, to not one of these improvements does the land monopolist contribute, and yet he says, by every one of them, the value of his land is enhanced. The unearned increment on the land is reaped by the land monopolist in exact proportion, not to the service, but to the disservice done. Mrr. He owned a lot of land. Winston Churchill, don't forget, was an incredibly rich man. He was the first of our two American presidents, remember. Prime Ministers. Presidents, But he was the first of our two American presidents. Although technically, we could say we've got a third, because Rishi Sunak also has a green card and can sod off to America. So possibly you could argue 3 American prime ministers. I keep saying presidents, don't I? But prime ministers. Churchill was the first. His mother was American. Boris was second, born in America. And then Sunak has the green card. So for some reason, our prime ministers are increasingly Americanised. Anyway, he said, now Mr. McDonald said, the economic problems we face, as Churchill speaks made clear, are not new. But, I mean, what is new? What is new is this guy McDonald coming out and saying that Humza Yousaf is in the same calibre as Churchill or Wilson. Not in the same calibre. He isn't worthy of tying their shoelaces. When Churchill takes his riding boots off and it's covered in horse shit, he would hand it to his valet. His valet would hand it to the shoe boy. The shoe boy would hand it to the lad in the village who scrapes the shit off the boot. Humza Yousaf is the one who sweeps away the shit. That's literally how far down he is from Churchill. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Churchill, my arse. Anyway, I'm coming up. Seriously, how delusional do you have to be? I mean, he either believes it and he's delusional, or he doesn't believe in it and it's just kiss-arsery, obsequious little sycophant crawling his way up the greasy pole, hoping for some kind of absolution for sins past. Not that I think that Humza Yousaf is able to give absolution. After all, we may not even be here by Easter. When is Easter? End of March. So he probably won't even be here by Easter. But hey, you know, it is what it is. But to compare Humza Yousaf to two of the ones, you know, either side of the political spectrum, but two certainly great prime ministers, is a joke. Anyway, I shall leave that there. I thought it was funny. I hope you did too, and I hope it was worthy of the hitting of a subscribe button. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.